Good morning. This is Elder G. This is Friday, June 19th, 2026. God can woke us up one more time. God can start us on our way. God can close us in our right mind. And I hope and pray that all our limbs are working properly. You see up on the screen there it says that 10 years ago, I remember it like yesterday. The director of the FBI was James Comey. And he went to Congress to testify. And he said that the number one, this is what the director of the FBI said 10 years ago, that the number one terrorist group in America is white supremacists. This was 10 years ago, and James Comey is a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's not an independent. James Comey is a Republican. And when he testified to Congress under oath 10 years ago, he said that the FBI warned of white supremacy in law enforcement 10 years ago. Have anything changed? Then Trump picked Christopher Wray to be the FBI director after he fired James Comey. Comey and Wray, both Republicans. Christopher Wray went up to Congress to testify. And he was asked the question, what is the number one terrorist organization in America? And Christopher Wray testified under oath that white supremacists is the number one terrorist organization in America. Now think about this. If you black or brown in America, think about this. In 2010, when Barack Obama was president and Eric Holder was the Attorney General, the prejudiced state of Alabama sued the Attorney General saying that the Civil Rights Act is unconstitutional. And they went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And that prejudiced Supreme Court took the teeth out of the Civil Rights Act. And then they started gerrymandering the map. All the prejudiced southern states, they started gerrymandering the districts. So they can steal elections. So they can take away black and brown people's rights. So they gutted Section 5 of the Civil Rights Act. They just didn't stop there. You only need 3 strikes to be out. They just didn't stop at the Civil Rights Act. They went on and got rid of affirmative action in the colleges so that minorities, white people, don't have to give people spots in college just because of the color of their skin. White people can discriminate against black and brown people. That's what you meant when you're taking away affirmative action to help someone get a grant to go to school. When you want to strip away somebody that got the grade, but their family don't got the money, you want to strip away the ability for them to go to college so they can learn. So you can still think that you better than somebody else. You're going to deny taxpayer money that black and brown people paid. Every time they got paid, you want to deny them the right to go to Princeton or Harvard or Yale just because of the color of their skin. And you talking about prejudice, and you talking about evil. That there ain't nobody more evil than that. And then after you have gutted the Civil Rights Act and you have took away affirmative action in the school, now you go after women. You go and you take away a woman's right to choose what to do with her own body. The prejudiced white man know more about a woman's body than the woman know about her own body. Everybody know that's a lie. It's not just a lie. It's an audacious lie. Ain't no man gonna know more about a woman's body than a woman herself. That's still after you done gutted the Civil Rights Act. You done got rid of affirmative action. You done took away a woman's right to choose. And then you turn around and you gut the Voting Rights Act. 3 strikes, you out. At the mouth of 2 or 3 eyewitnesses, something is confirmed. We know that you are our enemy. We know that you're going after our civil rights. You cannot deny it. You everything that James Comey testified to the Congress. You're the #1 terrorist organization in the United States of America, and you are a threat to the Constitution of the United States of America. Christopher Wray, a second Republican, the director of the FBI, testified to Congress that the white supremacy is the most evil terrorist group in America. And it's been 10 years and the FBI ain't did nothing. Congress ain't changed no laws. We own our own. We got to look out for ourselves. We got to stand up for ourselves. The federal government is not protecting our constitutional rights and our constitutional freedom. I demand that you treat everybody the same, no matter what race they are, no matter who they love, or what their educational level is. The money that the federal government have is of the people, is by the people, and that money is for the people. We pay you. You don't pay us. We tell you what to do. You don't tell us what to do. If you don't want to obey, and you don't want to follow the rules and the regulation that's under the Constitution of America, you are our enemy. You don't have the right and the power to try to take away from somebody because of who they love, or what their educational level is, or what color their skin, or what language they speak. God ain't with them. God ain't with that evil. Christ ain't with that evil. And Elder G ain't with that evil. God with the black and the brown people and the good white people that believe everybody's equal. That everybody got the same rights. That's who God with, that's who Christ with, and that's who I'm with. The Bible tells us first we got to obey God. Love God with all our heart, mind, and soul. And we're supposed to love our neighbor the same way we love ourselves. We don't have to accept evil. We don't have to be mistreated. Just remember what I always tell you. Don't burn no flag. Don't talk about no flag. Don't criticize the Constitution of America. And don't break no laws. And if you stand on Christ, Christ is that you're going to obey the laws of the land as long as the laws of the land is not in conflict with God and Christ. Your freedom to speak, you're not in conflict with God and Christ. Your freedom of the press, you are not in conflict with God and Christ. The freedom to bear arms, you are not in conflict with God and Christ. The freedom of religion, you're not in conflict with God and Christ. The freedom to petition your government, you're not in conflict with Jesus and God. And your freedom to assemble, you're not in conflict. As long as you are not in conflict with the Constitution, you're not in the conflict with God and Christ, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. If they come for you, and you ain't breaking no laws, and you obeying the Constitution of the United States of America, you have pledged your allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisibly, with liberty and justice for all. Not y'all. As long as you stay within the law, the Bible says that we can obey the law. As long as the law is not in conflict with God's law, we can obey it. My brothers and sisters, this is what the Constitution says. Any person, it didn't say nothing about no American citizen or what race you are or who you love. It says that any person feet that is on American soil, that person is entitled to due process. Anyone that tried to take away your freedoms and try to stop due process, the Constitution said and God says, you don't have to follow that order. You don't have to go against and let somebody tear you down. There ain't nowhere in the Bible it says, let evil tear you down or let evil discredit you. In the Bible, it says you got to be strong and you got to be courageous. You got to be willing to deny yourself and take up Christ's cross and follow after him. 10 years. This is before January 6th. Before they tried to overthrow the Capitol. 10 years while President Trump was president in his first term. 2 FBI directors warned the prejudice white America that white supremacists in the law enforcement 10 years ago. And the prejudiced white man did nothing to protect black and brown people and good white people that believe that black and brown people have the same rights as everybody else. Our federal government that's taking our money, they did nothing except set them free. The Supreme Court told President Trump, he was ex-President Trump, that if he become president again, he can use SEAL Team 6 to assassinate his opponent. The Supreme Court told an evil man that and gave him license to assassinate his opponent if he don't agree with him. That ain't no freedom. That ain't no justice. Justice is supposed to be blind. Justice don't care what race you are, what color you are, or who you love. But that prejudiced white man care. The Bible says you don't have to run. You don't have to duck. And you don't have to hide. You don't have to go to the left or to the right. You don't have to retreat when evil come after you. You just got to be strong. And you got to be courageous. You got to be willing to stand for Christ. You got to be willing to die if you have to. The Bible says you can stand up for yourself. No one has the right to take away your freedom. Anybody that's trying to take away your freedom, the Constitution and God say you can consider those people to be your enemy. You can consider those people to be a threat. The Bible didn't tell you to run from evil. The Bible tells you that you need to resist evil. The Bible said that you need to shine your glorious light into darkness that people may see and people may come running asking, what must I do to be saved? Moses didn't run from Pharaoh just because Pharaoh threatened him. Moses stood up to Pharaoh and told Pharaoh what thus said the Lord God. Let my people go, that they may serve me. You don't have to hide. You don't have to be afraid. Just like Moses said at the Red Sea, stand still and watch the salvation of the Lord. That's what I tell you. Just stand still and watch the salvation of the Lord. You're going to see Satan fall from heaven like lightning. And then you're going to say to yourself, is this the man that made the people of the earth tremble? Is this the man? All you got to do is give yourself to Christ this morning. You don't have to run no more. You don't have to hide no more. This is harvest time. The harvest truly is ready and it's ripe. All we need is some good God-fearing people to go and bring in the harvest. Jesus know what he's doing. All you got to do is you got to sanctify yourself. Quit doing this and quit doing that. Focus on God and let Christ lead you and guide you in the way that he wants you to go. And God said, if you do that, you'll be able to say that to that mountain, be thou removed. And that mountain will be removed. Jesus will equip you with whatever you need to get the job done. You got to walk by faith and not by sight. Faith is the substance of everything that you hope for. Faith is the evidence of the things not seen. When you start walking by faith, God will guide you by Christ, and he'll lead you in the way that he will have you to go. And when you follow in Christ, you don't have to retreat. You don't have to go to the left or the right. The only thing that you need to do is press forward towards the mark of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. Thank you.